Dear students, in this video I am going to talk about gene targeting and knockout and knock-in technology. So gene targeting can be defined as it is a genetic technique that uses homologous recombination to modify an endogenous gene. Now, do you remember what is homologous recombination? If you remember your previous classes of cell division, mitosis and meiosis, you can recall that at the start of the cell division, the homologous pairing occurs in chromosomes. And in meiosis, there is a crossing over between homologous chromosomes. What is the result of crossing over? The result of crossing over is the exchange of genetic material between the sister chromatids of chromosomes. You can remember all this from the cell division classes. That exchange of material, genetic material, is called homologous recombination. That is recombination of genetic material based on homologous pairing of chromosomes. So we use that method or that phenomena to target a gene. That means target a gene means what actually we want to do. Either we want to delete that gene or to add a new gene into a chromosome or to modify the individual base pair. Even a single nucleotide can be targeted, and all this can be a permanent change or it can be a conditional change. Conditional change means depending on some condition like the age of the organism or the nutritional status of the organism, we can put some condition like this, and depending on these conditions only, the targeted gene can have some effect. So all this becomes uses of gene targeting, that is to delete a gene, to add a gene, to modify an individual base pair, or these can be a permanent change or a conditional change. Okay, conditions can be anything like nutritional status or environment or age of the individual, etc., as I told you. Now coming on to the first type of targeting, that is gene knockout. What do you mean by knockout? Knockout means removing away. Now, gene knockout means removing or deleting or making it inoperative. That means the gene was earlier functional, but I targeted that gene by some method and made it inoperative. Somehow, either I deleted it or I did something which doesn't allow that gene to express, whatever may be the technique, but somehow I suppress the effect of that gene. This is called a gene knockout. Okay, so that is why we can define gene knockout as it's a genetic technique in which one of the organism's genes, among the entire gamut of genes, any one gene which we want to do knockout is made inoperative by any method, either by deleting or suppressing by other techniques. So when it is made inoperative, that means that protein which was made by that gene will no longer be present in the organism, or it will not be further made in the organism. So the function which that protein was doing, it's no more, it's not there anymore. So that is why we also call gene knockout as loss of function mutation. Means we are changing the gene, we are doing some mutation which results in loss of function of a particular protein which was earlier there, But after this knockout, the protein will not be there. So there is a loss of function. Okay. So gene knockout is also referred to as loss of function mutation. Keep it in mind. Okay. Now this gene knockout can be of two types, heterozygous and homozygous. In heterozygous, only one of the two gene copies or alleles is knocked out. You remember, all organisms have a pair of genes, that is, two alleles of a particular gene which are present on the homologous pairs. So, if we are able to knock out only one of the two copies on any one of the chromosomes in the pair, then it is called heterozygous gene knockout. Means in one chromosome, in one homologous pair, the older gene, functional gene, will be there, and the other member of the pair will have loss of function mutation or gene knocked out. Okay, so in this case, there is still a possibility that in some cells the original gene will be expressed, but obviously the full function of the gene will not be there because one of the pairs has lost its gene. This is called heterozygous gene knockout. In homozygous gene knockout, both gene copies or both alleles are knocked out. Means the gene is knocked out from both members of the pairs. So in homozygous, there is no possibility of the functional gene. Okay, so this is about the gene knockout types. Now coming on to the main portion of this process, which is homologous recombination. Now this diagram is to explain how homologous recombination helps in gene knockout. And this diagram you see carefully. This gene X, it represents from here till here, it represents a DNA, a long DNA strand. In that DNA strand, you have here, this is one gene, this is another gene, this is another gene, and this is another gene. For the example, I have taken 4 types of genes, and this represents the continuation of the strand. All this, the both ends of the strands will have other genes, but in our example we have taken these 4 different types of genes. In these 4 different types, this gene, which I have marked with the vertical and slanting bars, this gene is my target gene which I want to knock out. Okay, I want to knock out this gene. Now what should I do? I will produce a targeting vector in lab. Okay, in lab I will produce a targeting vector. That vector will have this DNA, and in this DNA, what is the characteristic? This gene and this gene will be similar to this and this gene of the original organism. Likewise, this last gene will also be similar to this gene of original organism. Why it is important? Because I want this targeting vector DNA to go and do homologous pairing with this gene. Okay, and why it will do homologous pairing? Because these portions are similar. Can you understand? These portions are similar. This is also similar, but this is not similar. Okay, so I am making most of the genes in that fragment similar to the original DNA, and this one is not similar. This is different. When other things are similar, more similarity is there, then possibility will be there that this targeting vector DNA once inserted into the organism, it will go and do homologous pairing with the original DNA. Okay. And when homologous pairing is there, then there will be a genetic crossover, similar to what you have studied in meiosis, the genetic crossover. It will be similar to that. And in this crossover, the crossover will happen over the homologous portions of the DNA. Yeah. Okay. And in this process, what will happen? This portion will get joined with here, this portion, and this portion will get joined with here. Okay. So the resulting targeted gene X will look like this. The initial strand of DNA, which is a long strand, and then the first portion, it is already intact, but this has been replaced with this portion. Okay, which is obviously similar to this. But when it is replaced, the joining occurs between this part and this part, then here there will be a cut, and taking advantage of that cut, this portion, new gene, will go and make bonds with that DNA. So the resulting gene will look like this. This portion same as the original one. This portion also it is same as this portion, the targeting vectors DNA, and this is replacing the original gene by target gene. Okay. So this is replacing, and once this same crossover again here there is a cut here, and when this will bond with this portion of the DNA. So resulting portion will be like this. Okay. So what I got actually after recombination, this is my original portion, no difference. This is very similar to the original because I use the homologous pairing. This is very similar, but it is not the same. Here I got replaced this gene, target gene, with my my gene, which is actually I am representing neo-R, means neomycin resistance gene. Why this acts like a selectable marker. Neomycin resistance. Neomycin is an antibiotic. So when I will get, why I am adding this neomycin resistance? Because to check whether the successful recombination has occurred or not. Because if it is occurred, then neomycin resistance gene will be expressed, and the resulting organism will be resistant to neomycin antibiotic in the Petri plate. Okay, so this portion of the gene will actually work like a selectable marker. And then the next portion, the fourth one, is the same as what I had in the original DNA. So what is this? Is the resulting DNA portion in which the target gene is not there. Okay, this is important to note. The original DNA, this target gene was there. Now here it is not there because of this crossovers. Okay, so because of this genetic exchanges, I took advantage of the homologous recombination and knocked this gene out. Means I have made this inoperative. This gene is no more there in the DNA. So when it is not there, it will not be expressed. Right. So this is the homologous recombination, and this is how it is used to knock out a gene. That means delete this portion of the DNA or that gene. Okay. After homologous recombination, we'll go to next portion. This is the slide showing the entire process of gene knockout for your understanding how it happens in the laboratory. You can see we take the normal blastocyst of the organism in which we want to knock out some gene. We take the normal blastocyst of that organism. In that we will have some blastocyst cells. These cells are separated, taken out from this blastocyst and grown in a separate plate. In this plate, we insert a desired or targeting vector which contains neomycin resistance gene, and we try to insert in these cells by the method of electroporation. You have already discussed electroporation in your previous classes. So once after successful electroporation, we will have the neomycin resistance gene incorporated into the cells of this normal blastocyst. Okay. Now, as I explained in homologous recombination, once this gene is there, the homologous recombination will occur, and some of the cells, here you can see I have indicated 2 cells. That means in these 2 cells, the successful recombination will happen. 100% it may not happen. Some cells may remain as normal as original cells, but some cells will get transformed after homologous recombination. Transformed means what? After this homologous recombination, the neomycin resistance gene will be inserted into the DNA of some cells and it will knock out the target gene. So in these 2 cells, the target gene is knocked out, and in these 2 cells, neomycin resistance gene has been inserted. So when you grow these cells in a plate where neomycin antibiotic is added, then only those cells will grow which are having neomycin resistance gene. So that's why I am showing here selection with resistance marker. So now this plate will have only those cells in which neomycin resistance gene is present. Okay. Now what I will do? I will do micro injection of these cells into a normal blastocyst. I will take this blastocyst is all sacrificed. I will take another blastocyst, or you can use the same blastocyst from which cells were originally taken, and micro inject these new cells which are having neomycin resistance into this blastocyst, and some of these cells will be modified from the original blastocyst. That's why modified blastocyst is written here. Okay, and this modified blastocyst will give rise to a chimeric mouse. Chimeric mouse means in this mouse, that gene which was supposed to be in the original blastocyst, some portion of that gene is not there because I have changed cells, and so some body portions like say skin color is will not be there for this mouse. Okay, that's why I am calling it as chimeric mouse. As an example, normally for identification, we knock out the cells representing the skin color. So if a normal blastocyst is there, the mouse will be throughout uniformly colored, either black or white or any other color. But in chimeric mouse, some portions of the body will have black, which is the original, and some portions they will be less, but some portions will have white, which is a chimeric, means those portions have come from these cells where neomycin resistance is there, but the original cells were missing. The original gene was missing actually. Gene was knocked out. Okay. Now these chimeric mouse will undergo similar breeding cycles over many generations, and finally you will get a mouse which we call knockout mouse, in which a particular gene will be knocked out from all the cells of the mouse. Remember, this is important. Gene knockout doesn't mean you knock out the gene in one or two particular or few particular cells. Gene knockout means you have to knock out the genes from all the cells of the organism. Okay. So this will not result into one or two generations. It will take multiple breeding cycles, and then finally you will get a mouse in which the original gene is not present in all the cells of that mouse. That is why we call that as a knockout mouse. Okay. And I am representing here with 3 dashed lines, means it is a multiple breeding cycles. Okay, so finally at the end of the process we will get a mouse in which the original gene is not there, or it is totally knocked out. Okay. Now, knock-in process. The knock-in process is actually similar to the knockout process, but it's opposite in function. In gene knockout, we were making on an existing gene as inoperative. But in gene knock-in, we add another gene. The process is same. The only change is in place of neomycin resistance, we will add another gene in the targeting vector. This time we will not put neomycin resistance gene. Okay. And our selectable marker will be the new gene which is inserted. Okay. So that is why when new gene is inserted, so we also call this gene knock-in process as gain of function mutation. Gene knockout was called as a loss of function, whereas gene knock-in is called gain of function mutation. Why? Because in this process, the organism will gain another gene, and that's why it will have an additional function after mutation. Okay, so theoretically, it is either one substitution of DNA sequence or addition of a new sequence on a given genetic locus or a given genetic position. Locus means position. The general procedure is same as that of conditional knockout through homologous recombination. However, the endogenous sequence is replaced with a DNA mutated gene. This is the only difference. Otherwise, the entire process is same as the gene knockout process. Okay. So with this, I complete the gene targeting topic. Thank you.